Hello, 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 and welcome to DevHeads, the podcast focused on the ins, outs, and goings on of game dev with host experience ranging from indie, double to triple A. As always, I'm Jay, joined by my wonderful co-host Tina
Hey, how's it going?
and Mikey.
Everybody.
So today we have a whole host of topics we'd like to go over, but before we dive into that, Mikey has some stuff, some important stuff, some heavy stuff he'd like to discuss, and I appreciate everyone in chat your patience with listening to what Mikey has to say.
Yeah. I guess the best way to start is to say that we have a pretty great privilege that we have everybody's ears and eyes right now, the people that we do. So I'm thankful that you guys give me a moment. I want to try to take the reach that we have, the exposure that we have as an opportunity to say something that is still relevant to game development, absolutely. But that is also important in regards to things outside of game development. So the short of it is this: somebody that was a close friend of mine, or a very close friend of mine that I worked with for years, died recently. And this was made public. His name's Jeremy Falcon-Prey, or MXD was his online handle. And he died. It was announced last month. Jeremy worked on Underhell, a Half-Life 2 mod. He and I worked at New World together. We were hired at basically the same time, him first on Insurgency, on Day of Infamy, Insurgency Sandstorm. And eventually I got him onto the 6 Days in Fallujah team, where he worked until his death. The important thing, there's a lot of important things about his death, but the most important thing right now that we need to talk about with this reach that we have is that it was a suicide. Jeremy killed himself. And that's really awful. He was 35 years old. He's my age. This is something that's really devastating. And there's so many different feelings around it. Any loss is awful. And he was a person who did a lot of creation. He put a lot of light and goodness into other people's lives, and he had a lot of good in his life, but he had a problem. Jeremy was very sick. He had a long history of problems. I don't think that he became fully aware of all of that until later in his life. And we're going to be putting some posts up today, and I'll link them. I'll share them with you, Eric, and I'll share them in the chat. They're being worked on now. There's been a lot of moving parts to this, but his death was already announced last month. But the fact that it's a suicide is something we're going public with today. And we're doing this shamelessly, in a way. We feel like it's very important. There's a lot to this, and it's all very complicated, and it's personally difficult. It's publicly difficult too, talking about this and finding the right ways to talk about it, the right places to post. It's indescribable, really. But the one thing that kept on jamming in the back of my head, like somebody hammering a nail, was that this needs to be useful. This death needs to be something. Death can be strength. It could be meaningful, but you have to work and create that. And the simple message to me that I think it has to be simple, or at least that's the way to get the best reach, is to simply say that people need to be aware of their own well-being in terms of mental health, and we need to look out for other people too. Jeremy had bipolar disorder. It was very serious. He had a manic episode in December. If anybody has ever had a friend who's had a manic episode, it is frightening. Okay, actual fear. It's very scary. It's very important. Here's the thing. The reach that we have right now, the reason why I'm taking a minute to do this and be serious is because I know there's somebody watching this right now that is struggling with anxiety or depression, who might have bipolar disorder themselves, who might have some other mental illness. So at the risk of sounding dramatic and kind of irrelevant, I just want to put it out there. If you're having those problems, there's two important components you need to understand. The first one is the one that you usually hear, right? Your family and your friends, they love you, and it's true. Resources are available, and we're going to link some of those. But here's the second part that I think doesn't get stressed enough. You need to take responsibility of resolving this problem. It's very important because it can kill you. If you have a friend who's struggling with it, you need to impress on them. You need to insist on them to take responsibility of trying to get better. You need to tell them that you love them. You need to tell them that you care about them. And you need to help them. And you need to make a plan together. And you need to remember that all these things are resolvable. The sad truth about Jeremy is that he didn't have the time that he needed to resolve the problem, but it is resolvable because suicide is ultimately a sickness, right? Or suicidal thoughts, mental health issues. These are all sicknesses. And people need to put the work into getting better. And don't be scared. Don't be ashamed because it's possible and other people have done it and you're no different from them. So that's the final piece that I'll say of it. I appreciate taking the time to listen to this. And I'm sorry for being a big downer, but this has been something that has consumed my mind for the past month on top of another close death that I had. And it's been a lot. And I just need to take a minute to express that and insist, because I know more than one person can hear me and they're struggling with this right now. I just know it from the numbers. The numbers don't even have to be that high. All right. Especially because we're all gamers and we love being alone and gaming and coping with entertainment. I mean, I'm certain of it that somebody can hear me. And I need to tell you that you need to take responsibility and you need to believe that recovery is possible, because it is, because other people have done it. And what makes you so special? Nothing. It's possible. So remember that and get some help and reach out to your friend, tell them to be honest with you and make sure it gets resolved, because it's resolvable. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Mikey. It's something that I've personally dealt with many years ago with a family member and their suicide. So I know what you've been feeling, and it's rough. And I do really appreciate and I'm proud that you've taken this time on our platform to speak about this, because it's not easy. So thank you for that, Mikey.
Can you share one story with our listeners, something that they can walk away with, like in a moment in time that you had with him that you're either the most proud of or like the silliest thing that you've ever experienced with him?
Fuck, Tina. Jeremy and I had a running gag.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with Jeremy. I met Jeremy in 2012, right?
Wow.
And we worked on Underhill together. He's not the reason why I got into game development, but he's the way I got in, because I was going to school at the University of Delaware. I was doing voiceover work on the radio station, and I was telling him, I was basically like, oh, I like doing voiceover for promotions and PSAs for radio. I'll do it for video games. And I was a big fucking Half-Life dork. I got on ModDB and I started looking around trying to like get a little experience, because I knew modders often got hired, and I thought maybe I can make a career out of this. I didn't know. I was just kind of messing around at the same time. And that's how we met. And then through Underhill, we got he got hired to work on Insurgency, which came out in 2014. And he told them, I think he recommended me. I don't actually know. He just told me I should apply. I assume he mentioned them to me, but he also didn't have any clout. He just started there. We basically started at the same time. And ever since then, I think since the Underhill days in like 2012, he always told me about a time that he shot a cockroach with a shotgun.
What?
And I said,
I mean, I guess I would do the same, I guess.
And I said to him, like, what do you mean? Now, Jeremy was French, okay? But he moved to Guadalajara, Mexico, and he lived there for years. Now, I believe that a man in Guadalajara, Mexico could probably procure himself a shotgun. I don't know too much about Guadalajara, but I've heard at least one or two anecdotes about like a grenade going off near where he lived, like concerning stuff like that, right? Which interestingly happened near our office in Amsterdam too, which is another story, but for another time. So I assume it happened in Mexico, but he told me that years ago, and the gag was this. The gag was, Jeremy, don't tell me about the story. Don't tell me the story. It's so funny that you told me that you did this, and the fact that there's no context is hilarious. And he laughed and he said, yeah, isn't that funny? Like, but it happened, I promise you. And I said, okay, one day you'll tell me. So the sad part is, of course, that I'll never, get to know
Yeah.
what that was, but that was the gag, wow, that's such a wild story, and it's so funny that I don't know. One day you'll tell me, but don't tell me now. And we kept bringing it up over the years. He would be like, time I shot a cockroach with a shotgun, and
man, thank you for sharing, Mikey.
so there's a lot of them. That's the first one that popped into my head.
Yeah.
To be honest, that would be the first one that would pop into my head. The shotgun cockroach one would be the first.
Pretty
one.
Vivid, right? I hope I don't upset.
You guys were in Amsterdam. I saw
people.
some footage. You guys were in Amsterdam together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were in Amsterdam we worked together for 7.5 years, man. And we worked together officially, professionally in 7.5 years. We worked together creatively our entire lives, except for, I guess, when I left New World in 2021. But we were in Amsterdam together. He moved there from Mexico. I moved there from New Jersey. And he, and then we went to Canada together, Calgary. There's no footage of that. This is all footage of me and Jeremy in Amsterdam. This is from the documentary that
I was going to say, is this the documentary that Nick, Nick worked on?
I think this is fucking Omar filming this. I don't know, but Nick
Omar was filming this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's I appreciate you asking me that, Tina. And again, everybody, I appreciate it. Again, I just want to insist. Obviously, I'm getting some emotional relief from talking about it, but the important thing is that if anybody who can hear my voice now has anxiety or depression or something, you could easily have a serious illness and it's recoverable. Jeremy was an open book. He is in some regards, I guess I should say, when it came to this stuff with us, at least, he was an open book. He was doing everything correctly with his care. Sometimes you don't make it. And it's one of those situations you have to take this seriously and mitigate your chances. Even just the fleeting thought of wanting to die, just the thought of well, I might be anxious, I might be depressed, I don't really know. Doesn't that warrant looking into it? And I really think I really think it's as simple as that. The post that we're going to put out here might even be out now. I'll share it, Eric, and you can share it. There's resources there, and please take it seriously. The permanence of death is devastating. And we were gaming right up until he died, man. We were playing Halo 3, some custom maps, house cleaning, and saving Sergeant Johnson. We were playing a Halo Reach Iron Skull playthrough. And fuck. That can never happen again. Mm-hmm. And I want you to hear the seriousness of my voice and take that seriously and message that friend that you have. Okay? That's what I'm imploring, I guess, or insisting on. So
take care of your friends and take care of yourself in all the ways you can, It's important.
That's right. I'm done. Thank you. I appreciate it. This helps me too, of course.
A comment in the chat that I wanted to call out. I won't read their full name just to keep a little bit of an anonymity, even though they shared this here. They said that they've had a hell of a climb out of a handful of attempts, and I'm on the road to recovery myself. It's not easy, and too few see help. I had a few friends from the Xbox 360 days that didn't. Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Yeah.
Proud of you for getting help. I'm sorry if any of you are dealing with this, and it's really important, as Mikey's been saying, seek help, and also be there for your friends. Send that message. Check they're okay. Even if you think they're absolutely fine, you never know what's going on behind the hood. So just take care of your people, your family, and your friends. It's important.
Exactly.
Ask them to be honest, and if they tell you, make a plan.
100%. Right.
Okay.
So
I appreciate people sharing.
100%. In different news, 1,000 people laid off at Epic Games.
Certainly different. Still sad.
We discussed this entire conversation, guys.
Yes. Ahead of time.
We discussed whether we knew we wanted to talk about everything that we just spoke about. We 100% wanted to talk about this, and I raised the issue. Shall we then follow that up 100% with 1,000 layoffs at Epic Games? And we were like, well, there's a little bit of levity there. There's a little bit
On a more positive note, no.
On a more positive note, layoffs. This is our first icebreaker, which is Epic laid off 1,000 people across the company as a cost-cutting measure. Wow, doesn't that suck?
The headline alone is just like forces you to stop whatever you're doing and just really focus and reflect. Especially as a game dev, you're just like, oh god damn. Especially like the Fortnite maker, you know? You just think they print cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
where are they putting all that money?
You know, Tim, he in his free time uses his cash to buy land to protect
forests, and stuff, right?
Forests and stuff. So you I guess on the surface, on paper, you always think like, oh, he's like doing some good out there. I don't understand, and I wish that we had better understanding. From what I know, Epic has about 4,000 people, or did, so it's almost like 1 in 4. And you have to understand, they're not all in like one location. They're a global company. Like taking care of Fortnite is a round the clock job. When one country sleeps, another wakes up and just gets to work. So it's a huge undertaking, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. Like when you think about it, it's like 1 in 4 people the team has been let go. First of all, that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
to have that many people, and as you stressed, obviously keeping titans like Fortnite going round the clock is 24-hour thing. It's absolutely insane, but like that's a lot of people, and obviously they're not all working on Fortnite. They've got obviously their departments that are doing research, developing the engine. Like there's lots of different things that they're doing, but I thought Fortnite was making more money than God. Is it still doing that, or is it have they realized, well, as they've announced themselves from their own statement, they were spending more money than they were making? So clearly
costs a lot of money to have those IP collaborations. You're not getting Bruno Mars in there for free. He definitely wants cash.
Yeah, or like the Simpsons or whatever. Like they're gonna have to be paying out them big cash wads. But it just sucks. Like a lot of people I know were affected by this and were completely blindsided by it, which just sucks. But this is what we've been seeing across the industry, especially in AAA, is just oh no, everyone's fired, and it sucks. It never gets easy to keep hearing all this. I just hope those people can find more work. But there was also another piece, which was a man was fired. I don't have their name here. I can go get it if people are interested. Who was fired, who had terminal illness. And when they were fired, their health and life insurance was cancelled as a result. So his family was going to be deeply affected by that because of their loss, and also all the insurance and life insurance would go. But Tim did come through once they found out about this and has rectified that problem with the employee, the previous employee. I believe, if I remember correctly, they stated that medical records are a very private thing, and the company did not have access to that and did not know that they had a terminal illness. And as soon as they found that out, they went and rectified it, which, like, give them props for that. But it just sucks that this is the situation we're in, where this horrible event can happen and it can just go under the radar. I think it was his wife who made a post on LinkedIn, and that's how it became public.
This shit happens, right?
Yeah,
for sure. People get. Sorry. I'm not saying this shit happens to minimize it. I'm saying we should know this shit does happen. I'm thinking of another case. I won't be specific, but somebody else that I know in the industry who there's like a mandatory you can't work from home anymore sort of situation, right? Like, oh, you got to come back in the office, and that person's saying, my wife or my husband or my dad has a terminal cancer. I'm their caregiver. We've been working remotely for years. I've built his care plan around me being here. I can't come back into the office, and the company insisting. It's one of these. It's good of them. Personally, I think it's good of them to have done that. Obviously, the big takeaway for me from this is like, gaming is just not fucking stable anymore, man. Like it's just not. And that's like I guess the obvious theme of all of these layoffs is like it really doesn't matter. And that's scary, because when we talk about stability, we talk about the financial component, of course. We also talk about like healthcare, right? And having that. But if you work in an industry where you are able to be laid off, not just in hundreds, but like in 1,000 or more, then how do you build a life around that, man? It's a real shakeup. We talk a lot about the effects of all this, and how it means, well, there's going to be a lot more indie projects and a lot more of games that are released like tinier budgets and like solos dev and small team dev and like and all that, plus also like side work. Like it's not your main career, because how could it be your main career when you need to live and be healthy and make money?
Yeah. I mean, like, if there was ever a company, a AAA company that, like, if it was operating correctly, could take care of its employees, it was probably Epic. Like, it's really sad to see that they were, like, 4,000 employees. Like, you're clearly wasting money in some areas. I don't think you needed that many employees there, whether that's putting it into research or different game projects that they're going to cancel and blah, 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 blah. They probably could, and this is what they're doing now. They've gone, fuck, we're spending more money than we're bringing in. We need to cut things back so we can take care of the people that we do have, and make sure we're making money. And like, it just sucks that it just had to balloon to that point so it can pop and shrink back down rather than just maintaining it. It just sucks, and all you can hope for is that you hope that these devs and these executives learn lessons from it, but they never do. But then COVID and everything to do with that has really like ballooned the executives' expectations of what the industry was going to be like and continue to stay at. So we spoke about it a lot with a lot of things at Sony and these big layoffs. It's COVID money came in, COVID numbers came in. They then projected that it would stay that way and spent money as if it was going to stay that way, and then it didn't. Right? So that's a mistake across the board, and some companies are able to sustain that for a little while, like Epic, and now they have to scale back. But it just sucks that a lot of people were putting their time and energy into working at these companies, and then they just get shafted.
So this is the second time Epic has done this recently. In 2023, they laid off about 830 people. So when they lay off people, it's like in a big wave. What's fast? Well, I was going to jump to something tangential, but before we do that, there was a tweet that someone posted about being laid off, and I thought it would be good if Eric showed that, just to give more of like a personal touch. And not only a personal touch, but like the humanity aspect of what people go through when these things happen, right? So Evanosaurus on Twitter said, guess who got laid off today? I am genuinely so confused and bewildered. Like, I've spent the past week debugging the rivalry system while recovering from pneumonia. And just in the past few days, I've had multiple directors tell me how much they appreciate everything I do. I have done so much for this company and our games. So many late nights, so many weekends, so many live events and competitive events and new features and new seasons. Solid performance reviews. Sorry, let me expand on this. Every time with multiple people mentioning how critical I am and what an impact I make across multiple teams, just to be thrown out. I don't get it.
Yeah. The anxiety that's got to cause must suck. And I think someone in chat will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that person, or if it isn't, and there's another person, one of the people who was fired is someone who's like basically single-handedly keeping Rocket League alive. Like they're responsible for like everything that is keeping it running, and Epic fired them. So people are predicting that give it 6 months and that game's going to go downhill.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and doesn't it suck to have all of your leads tell you how proud they are of all the work you're doing, how much they appreciate you, then the next day be laid off? Like the amount of anxiety that's got to cause with going into any new position, you can't trust what any of the higher ups are saying, whether it's positive or negative. It's just like AAA is in a bad spot.
Yeah, it definitely feels bad to be in the layoff position, but it also, I think, feels bad for the people that are still there, because it's almost like, well, if you fire this many people, and if you are connected to people that have been laid off that you believe are like truly good at what they do, then what's the? It's not a performance thing. Then what is it?
Yeah.
You know?
What's the reward for pushing and doing the best you can and stuff like that? And not saying you need a reward. Fighting to keep your job shouldn't be the driving force of you trying to do good work, especially in a creative field. But like that's what a lot of these people have to do. That sucks. That really, really sucks. I can't imagine the anxiety they're feeling. I feel for them.
On the flip side of all this, I just want our listeners to understand that there's also been rumors about Disney being ready to buy Epic and Fortnite. And so it takes cash to buy a big company. It's cash there. I don't know.
Oh no. I hadn't heard of that, and that is worrying.
Yeah, Eric, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. If you want to pull up the website.
That's horrifying. I don't want Disney to own Epic, or especially considering Unreal is my primary development engine. I don't want to give a cut of my game to Disney.
There is a weird connection there with Unreal, right? Like Mandalorian is from Disney. Jon Favreau was like a big proponent for pushing the tech on Lion King and the Mandalorian, yes, using the Unreal Engine. So it's
there are connecting points, yeah. Oh, I can see how it would make
Disney,
sense.
Jay? Can you?
They're a giant corporate conglomerate that is evil inherently. Like, I could do some digging. I guarantee you, Disney are constantly doing evil things all the time, every second of every day. I'm sure they are responsible for allegedly. They are responsible for every disease ever created.
What?
Yep. The Black Plague, Disney. Black Cauldron was them admitting to it.
What?
I don't want my money. Okay, if I release my game, right, and it did pretty well, a percentage of that, I think it's after $1 million. For Epic, it's after $1 million. Epic get a percentage of your sales, right? Which is really awesome, right? $1 million is a lot of money, especially to a small team or an indie dev, right? So them being like, we're gonna waive it until you hit that $1 million mark. Disney gets it, and they're like, if you make any money, we get 95% to fund Ebola 2 Electric Boogaloo. Allegedly.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just in Disneyland
I'm really gonna
with
have
my
to
kids
rethink.
like last weekend.
I hope they're wearing masks because apparently.
I think,
they
in all
got
seriousness,
vaccinated.
So did they make the first Ebola, Jay?
Yeah, no, allegedly. Yeah, they made all of them. I just don't think big corporate companies that own huge percentages of the film industry buying up some of the biggest game companies and engines is a good thing. I think monopolies are a bad thing because I was joking, but what if they got it and were like, hey, okay, well, it's not 1 million anymore. It's 100K. And then we're getting a percentage.
I get it. You're you don't
America
like
would typically agree with you about monopolies, but we got some donations.
Some donos. Let's go through those.
Okay.
Gelnietish, $5 and says, what do you think about the idea of government subsidies to support game development studios like some European countries have? Yeah, well, they're great. When they work, I've been on projects where they have been given money and then it's been taken away. So
ooh, what?
Yeah,
why?
I can't speak to that too much. But yeah, it's in theory it's great, and I'm sure it works for a lot of indies. It can be a really good thing. I'm not going to.
I had a client once. We were going for a fund, like a national fund, and I think it's a really good practice. It can be tough sometimes because as a developer, it's like sometimes very hard to get them because the range of applicants can be really wide. It could be like a developer who's been laid off from a AAA and they're starting their own studio, and they have a situation where they really need the money to start up, and they have a family, right? Because they're older and stuff, because they have experience, right? It could be that, and then way on the other end of the spectrum, it could be like a student and a couple friends, right? Yeah. Who don't have any financial need, and they still have 2 years of school ahead of them that are getting paid for.
They have promise,
right. And I'm not saying either of those is like more deserving than the other, but I think one thing that would be helpful to developers applying so they can manage their expectations a little is knowing like funds that are targeted, right? Like this is a student fund, or this is a working professional fund. That's the only thing that, like, through my experience with that client, at least, gave me that kind of thought of like, that might be a little better, so you actually know what to expect, right? Other than that, I mean, on principle, they're great, and I guess obviously we're going to say they're great because we want people to make video games. But when you think about like a lot of the things that countries fund when it comes to the arts, it's obviously important to have private art galleries, right? It's obviously important to have museums. It's obviously important to have theater, but why not have games like at least be on an even footing as far as funding goes? Because games are international. Like, you want to talk about preserving a country's culture, or expressing it, at least. Maybe expressing is a better way to say it, to around the world and to your own community, like Kingdom Come does, right? With Czech history.
Oh, dude.
Like well, let me finish this point. Then you can
100%.
I feel like the games might deserve the money, or at least be a better cultural return, let's say, or at least like an exposure return, even financial return for the country itself than a theater production or a private art gallery. But they're all legitimate. I just think they should at least all get the same funding, ideally. Go ahead, Jay.
1 second. I need to remember the name.
Remember your anecdote? I was talking about Kingdom Come. And
yeah, I just remember the name of the city. The city I was in. Gutenberg,
Prague.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate
American.
to get to
go. You mean Gutenberg?
You mean Gutenberg? I went to Prague to spend some time with the development team of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And we got to go to Gutenberg, which is what one of the major cities is based on. And they walked us around, and they had people in historical like armor standing on street corners holding up screenshots from the game to show you how accurate their reproductions were.
That's
we
cool.
went to we went to a castle there. I don't think it's a castle, but it's this historical building where I met the mayor of the city, and they were speaking at how proud they were of this development team and how much of a good job they were doing of preserving the history and being faithful to it and showing it in the video game. And I believe they get a bunch of funding from the government to produce it. I know in a similar vein, Poland is very, very proud of their development teams. I think that's awesome. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be making historical games, right? Poland's really proud of CD Projekt Red for doing The Witcher because the author is Polish. Right?
That's a great example, man.
And what was it? I think was it the president or one of the rulers? I can't remember of Poland went to meet Obama, and their gift was Witcher 3.
Well, it was okay. So from what I understand,
awesome.
It was a basket of like Polish stuff, right? And one of the things in the basket of Polish stuff was a copy of The Witcher 3.
And so I think that's correct, right? It's an incredible cultural export.
Yeah.
For their literature and also just for a game development standpoint. I think it's fantastic. And I think more countries should be doing that. But what you'll see is that it's a lot of European countries and even some in England that are giving government funding to games because they're first world countries and they can take care of their people. So you're not going to see that here, unfortunately, because, things.
So do we want to get through the next 3 paid...
Oh, yes. Yes,
things?
100%.
Okay.
Bigger Hudson, $5 Canadian, and says, as a dev who has been relying on UE4 and 5 for years, I can only speculate what kind of ramifications 1K layoffs will have on its ecosystem and stability. It's a lot of layoffs. 1 in 4, as Tina said.
Yeah. Pretty wild, right? It's unfortunate. Did we read the comment from Tim, by the way? I think it was Tim. Or the explanation as why they laid off all these people that's in the document.
I have.
I can read it. I have it right now.
Yeah. If you've got it, go for it.
Some of the challenges we're facing are industry-wide challenges: slower growth, weaker spending, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generations, and games competing for time against other increasingly engaging forms of entertainment. So that was their explanation. We could unpack that a bit, but in doing so, we can talk about our next big topic, which is the title of our podcast. GTA
yeah, the title of the podcast. We requested art and the title for this one, and Nick was like, "What?" Which I'm sure a few of you are here for, just like what this title is and what it says. This was something that we wanted to talk about for a while, which is a GTA 6 focused episode. But Tina said this. Tina, what did you say that really perked up our ears?
So in this TED Talk, I would like to discuss why I think this particular game needs to succeed for the health of the entire fucking industry. We need GTA 6 to do well. And there's a lot of things going against it right now. And yes, if you would love to have a discussion with me in the chat, please provide your comments and suggestions. Anyways, yeah, I think it's a pretty big fucking deal. I mean, I just saw an article the other day that speculated that this game's going to cost about $3 billion to make. $3 billion.
Ridiculous.
There's some devs that have probably started this project and have left to go on to other projects and have had like 2 or 3 promotions since then, right? Or like, shout out to the devs who have been on this from day one. They're going to spend about a decade of their life.
Which is how many
on this.
over that? Like when this has definitely been in development since at least GTA 5's release, right?
Yeah.
Which was, when was that? I know, Mikey, you spoke about this when we were compiling it. It was September 17th, 2013. It's been 13 years.
Holy shit.
It's been Did Eric pull up the actual... Okay, as you all can see, hard Slack evidence.
Are you leaking our Slack messages?
This is a private leak. This is some real juicy shit, everybody. For those who are
behind
listening,
the scenes,
Eric has put the Slack conversation where Jay has explained, here's the title for tomorrow. We're requesting the art. Eric made a hilarious joke saying GTA 6 more like ET2, which is, for those of you who are too young, is reference to how ET on the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo contributed to the game's crash.
The one that
in the
was
80s.
buried in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So allegedly, so many buried. And Nick going, what? And then Jay says he had a wild idea, or Tina had a wild idea.
Tina had a wild idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think, we can talk about GTA when it comes out or after it comes out, but I think this is just like a prime time to discuss this particular game because as a AAA developer, I am fucking scared. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's nights where I think like, do kids like games anymore? I don't know. GTA 6 will help us understand that. And in the chat, Angel Nick L, I think is their name, Angel Nickel, just said, I will sleep on GTA 6. I am sorry. Like, why? Why would you sleep on it?
Well, it might not be their thing, right? Like,
well, let's hear the why.
Yeah.
Right.
But
everyone in chat. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, there's a particular AAA games, I feel like, have been like at the top of the spear for our industry in terms of like showing how crazy games can get content-wise, tech-wise, throwing in the biggest celebrities that you can think of in their games, right? Just kind of forcing the hand of first parties to have cross-platform multiplayer. Like, these games really change things, and in most cases, or I would love to believe in most cases, for the better, for not just gamers but developers too. Right? Like they just have so much at their disposal, right? And this year I have seen personal colleagues fall by the wayside because they came out with a new shooter that kids said, like, I don't want to play this, right? And they just shut down a whole studio. It's like, it's a little frightening. Are we out of touch with gamers? Are gamers just not there anymore? Are they doing other things? It's the kids that are wrong. No, but okay, so this is fascinating about GTA 6 because I haven't heard much other than people randomly in news articles saying, oh, we're getting like astronauts going to space before GTA 6, or like any major event in life happening before they get GTA 6.
Yeah.
So I know people know about this. So I have to believe it's like the biggest release coming for our industry.
Oh no, it's gonna be. We forget that, like, we are very, very deep in the video game fandom, and us are another level deeper because we are creatives in the space, right?
Yeah.
The general populace, when they think of games, will think of things like FIFA and NFL games and GTA. GTA is one of the things that normies will think of. The
big ones, yeah.
Like, if we, Eric, are you able to pull up some of the stats for the sales for GTA? Because I remember when we were doing our research into this, GTA is in, I think it might be the 4th highest selling game of all time, GTA 5.
Well,
and the one after that is Red Dead Redemption 2. Like,
yeah, okay.
Rockstar have more money than God, like, actually, which is why they've taken 13 years to make their what needs to be a magnum opus, right? It needs to be the thing. They need to push those boundaries because people have been waiting so long and they're expecting so much. Oh, it was the second, was it? Oh my God. The list I was looking at was different. It's even worse.
What, Tetris and Minecraft are tied on this wiki?
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so it's third, and then Wii Sports, then Red Dead 2. But like, when you think about it, these are like big. We've got big Nintendo games, which is obviously what a lot of the general gamers will think of. Tetris, obviously, your nan plays Tetris. Minecraft, all the kiddywinks went nuts for that. But like, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead are huge, huge titles, and a lot of people have played them. And these are two titles from Rockstar. So a lot of people, like, we don't see a lot of people talking about it. One, because you don't really see a lot of people talking about, right now, there hasn't been a game in this IP for 13 years.
A long time, yeah.
So people aren't. It's not in like the cultural conversation, apart from the joke that it keeps getting delayed and we haven't got GTA 6 because people really, really want it. Right?
We have 13-year-olds running around not knowing that a GTA game ever released.
They've never seen one.
Seen a launch, a GTA launch.
I could have been teaching kids that had never seen a GTA launch. That's crazy. I mean, well, they shouldn't be playing it at that age, but
yes,
the thing is, it's become a joke. But I don't think the lack of conversation implies that it won't be as big of a cultural hit as it is, because I know you have worries about that, and I'm with you on the fact that I think it does need to do well for to see some like to keep the AAA industry healthy. But I don't see what is success in this. Like, how do we quantify it doing well? Because this game will sell more copies than you can imagine.
Well, will it? That's the thing I'm scared
I think
about.
So.
Will it? Like, I don't know if it's predictable anymore. So here's the thing, like PlayStation, right? Just announced that they're going to increase the price of their consoles. Like the most expensive version's going up $150. Mm-hmm. Their cheapest version's going up $100. So that's something that gamers aren't used to, right? Usually when you buy a console, you wait. If you don't get it at launch or close to launch, you get it a few years later, and it's in theory a little bit cheaper, right? Or you get more with it, right? Like there's more first party games that you want to play. GTA has always been a driver towards new consoles or better hardware. The hardware conversation, like we discussed in the past, is just done. Like, we are not getting new hardware this year. We're not, maybe not even next year, right? Not to mention it's like really expensive if you are going to get new shit, which a lot of people probably don't want to invest in right now. And we've explained why in previous podcasts. So if it's not driving people to buy new hardware, then we're hoping it drives people to play games, because GTA does draw a huge amount of people historically.
Oh yeah, clearly from the numbers we've seen with sales, like normies will play this game, right?
Yeah,
they'll buy it just like they will with their annual games. I think an interesting point with this is, if you remember think back 13 years ago. How old were we when GTA released?
Okay,
how old was I can't do math.
23.
27.
I was okay. I can't do math.
Sorry, did you say GTA? Which GTA did you mean? GTA 5 13 years ago?
Oh, I was 18.
Yeah. 5.
I was 18. So wait, I was only just legally allowed to play it, to go buy it at the stores.
Disgusting, Jay.
I know, right?
I forget how young you are.
I know, right? I'm a fresh chicken out of the egg, but also balding. Can you believe that?
You're fine, too.
But a thing to think about, if you guys can remember, even back then, I was a PC gamer. I played games on PC first more than anything. Just build my own, I absolutely loved it. But you could not play GTA 5 on PC when it released. You had to, I think it was like a year they waited before they released it again on PC. And I remember thinking back then, being like, well, that's a big mistake, because I would be buying it and playing it right now if that was the case. And they cited a bunch of different reasons of it's difficult to port the game to PC, blah, 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 blah. Well, if we look at the numbers, today in 2020, we have data from 2024 that there were 629 million console players versus 907 million PC players.
Ooh.
So the PC market is bigger than the console market, and I'd wager that that's even bigger now, because from this data I have here, it was the growth of PC players was growing at a 3.9% annually. So it's growing at a faster pace. So
can I interject when you're finished, and then I just want to let you know I want to interject.
Yeah, for sure. My stance is like, I don't think we've had any confirmation whether they were going to be like, the PC release is coming at the same time as the console, but they would be missing out on a huge market if they don't. And I think, well, they definitely have the resources to do it. And I just hope they have, because you were speaking about console sales, Tina, and I think you're completely right with those. But I think a lot of them, it's not that they're not playing games, it's that they've moved to PC. And PC gaming is growing and becoming more of the standard. Now, when we get into the topic of conversation of RAM prices and how it's very hard to now get into this kind of hobby nowadays, that might change.
Mike, before you make your comment, I wanted to just explain to the listeners that the reason why GTA 6 can't fail, because I don't think we really covered this directly.
We didn't really cover it, yeah.
Yeah, so one is it drives console sales, right? It's actually like trickle-down economics, and I hate saying that phrase.
Oh my God.
You know, you buy...
Was Reagan a gamer?
Oh my God. You buy keyboards, mouses, you buy new controllers. Like, it inspires you to just get like the best of whatever you can get, right? If you don't already have it, to play the game with your friends and stuff. It drives you to get subscriptions like the Microsoft Game Pass or like the PlayStation Plus.
So you can play online.
Yeah. You know, you're probably investing in better internet so you can do all the crazy online stuff. Like, that's why I would want to play.
Invest in better internets, kids.
Yeah. You know, once you, and as a, you know, former like COD and Apex dev, a GTA game, I know a lot of times people think like, oh, you know, it's not great if a GTA game comes out in near your window because everyone's just going to buy GTA. But in all honesty, like, the more people that are playing, the more opportunity you have to grab other players too. If your game's good, right? So like, if your game
trickle down player count.
Yes, exactly. And like, if your game is good, the players will come. I don't know if that's a real thing anymore. Make a fantastic game. Are there going to be players that help you fund the fact that you made the game? I like that. That's what the big test is for me personally, seeing GTA 6 launch. Because if the game is really good and people aren't buying it, what the fuck do gamers want?
Well,
and
if there's ever a game
that's a scary question to ask as a AAA dev, because you're spending so much money to make these games.
Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the thing I wanted to say before with Hugh J was about, I think a kind of consequence of this climate or environment is that, okay, if there's more and more people going over to PC and PCs are becoming more and more accessible, and if, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Valve's Steam machine and those devices, but you can tell they're trying to make PC consoles, right? Quote unquote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As you were speaking, I was thinking to myself, like, man, you can get on Steam with like a $20 budget and get like a couple really good fun games that you'll get hours out of.
Mm-hmm.
How much is peak, right? Like 6, 7, 8
and
US
the
dollars.
Sales they have.
And with sales and
free games,
and with how easy it is, and how much is Call of Duty or Battlefield 6, right? Like, you got to compare those numbers, and you got to think about the economic factor here of, like, kind of touching on what you were just saying now, Tina. Like, well, if the game's good but people don't buy it, what's the problem? And that problem could easily just be money. Like, can you afford a new PS5 Pro? Can you afford an $80 video game when the alternative are games that are really fun and really good that are $15, $30, $40 for a video game is still like half of a AAA game. Some AAA games.
Yeah, there's been many games where I've, especially on Nintendo on the Switch, where I've been like, oh yeah, I'm interested in getting like Kirby Air Riders or even like Pocopia. And then I've gone and looked at the price and gone, okay, my interest is now dead. And I go and do something else. Because I understand why these devs need to charge this. I don't think we've ever really had a pricing. Did you see the flashbang?
I'm sorry, Jay. Eric just put up a very helpful visual aid for all of you who might not understand the idea
empty wallet
of cash and finance. This wallet's empty. Wallets are a device used by humanity for centuries, really, form of purses and other devices. They hold money or currency or Sorry.
Well, that's the
Go
other
on,
thing too.
Jay.
Is
No, let Jay finish. I interrupted
Okay,
Jay.
okay.
Please let him finish.
go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I think we'll stay on that train though. But the idea is we haven't really spoken about pricing a lot on dev heads of like how much games should cost. I understand why a lot of AAA games should cost more, right? And I also understand why some of the prices are increasing. But I understand the reason, but I also think that's because AAA is spending too much on bollocks, right? Like, why have we got Kit Harington in a fucking Call of Duty? Nobody gives a fuck.
Tina worked on that. Tina's like, hey.
Like,
No, I just
or
think I
Tina,
agree.
you've explicitly, I can't remember, I don't want to say this because I can't remember whether you said it in confidence.
The Guy Ritchie thing?
The Guy Ritchie thing. Did you say that publicly?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, even it's been so long, like it doesn't matter now. Call of Duty hired Guy Ritchie to direct Kit Harington for one scene in Infinite Warfare, and it cost a couple $1 million.
What the fuck?
And it was just like a day. And like,
how many indie games could you fund with that? Stupid.
I just think like someone just really wanted to meet Guy Ritchie and then took the opportunity, you know what I mean? And like the rest of the devs didn't get to like benefit in any way from it. And it's not like we put it on the box or anything like Guy Ritchie fucking help. You know, I don't know.
No, it's not like with Elden Ring when they're like, Jordan helped write this game, right? That's a way to market your game and sell it, right? You didn't say Guy Ritchie stopped by for 2 hours.
To be fair to that, like George R. R. Martin, world building and shit. So I can kind of see that argument. You're reminding me, Tina, of a thing that I saw.
Discord is dying.
All right. Checking the server. Can everybody hear us? Are we still there? Okay. Are we back now? Okay. So as I was saying, I had a thought, Tina, as you were saying, somebody just wanted to talk to Guy Ritchie. I remember seeing a promotional spot for a bunch of character skins in one of the Call of Duties for Spawn. And I remember thinking like, okay, I get retroactively, I get like millennials have a lot of the money right now, purchasing power or whatever. And Spawn is like a pretty millennial franchise, but is it like, it might be a little more Gen X? Why is Spawn here? Did somebody just like Spawn? Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of
probably the answer.
Yes.
It definitely happens because games are made by people and people have their dumb little fascinations with specific IPs and things. And sometimes it's fine. And like, I don't know, maybe it's fine to have Spawn in Call of Duty, but that struck me as arbitrary and like that feeling that you're describing.
Also, have you considered that Spawn might be one of the only IPs left that hasn't been gobbled up by Fortnite? So they're like, fuck. They start scraping the bottom of the barrel and they're like, oh shit, Nicki Minaj and Spawn. Let's use that. The kids love.
But Nicki Minaj is like a prolific musician. You know what I mean? Like Spawn is.
We're getting a little bit off topic.
Yeah, we are getting a tiny bit off topic. But the money thing was that there are rumors that GTA is going to be the first game that is priced at $100.
Yes, I've heard that rumor
because they could justify it. And like, how do you guys feel about that? Of like, do you think they can justify that? And do you think gamers will bend the knee? I'm thinking of George R. R. Martin.
Okay, look,
I feel like you can't. Go ahead.
Okay. Games have not really changed price-wise since I started playing games. So yes, I think it's about time we charge a bit more, especially if you're getting a lot for your money. Is internet okay? Am I still here?
Yeah,
we hear you.
Our screen paused. Oh, okay.
I think Discord's being weird. Yeah, we're good though.
Yeah. I think $100 for what you're getting is fair. $100 to potentially play for another fucking decade. Right?
Yeah, because with the online, you are actually getting.
Yes.
It's like subscriptions with World of Warcraft. I used to have these arguments with people all the time when I was younger. People used to take the piss out of me for playing MMOs. They're like, why would you pay $10 a month to play the game?
Oh my God. $94 for a game. Yeah, see it like
for
games.
Doom? Just that for inflation? Inflation.
Wait, what country is this? Is this the US? I'm assuming US. Oh, Canada.
This must be Canada.
Okay, so it's Canadian
Canadian
space
dollars are less valuable than US
but still,
dollars.
Right?
Heads up.
On the MMO stuff, it was like people would say, "Why would you spend $10 on a game every month? That's stupid." And I'm like, "You'll pay $10 to go see a movie." Well, when I was younger, it was like 10 quid, $10 to go see a film. You'll get 2 hours of entertainment out of that. I pay $10 for my WoW sub, and I get hundreds of hours of entertainment out of it, like nearly a month. So it's like it's a great investment for me. And like that argument could be said, if you're going to get GTA Online and you're going to get this campaign, which at this point has to be crazy, is it going to be worth $100? Like a friend of mine always used to say, I will pay $1 per hour of fun I get out of a game. That was his metric for like, I will spend that much money. I think you're going to get $100 worth of fun out of this product, but that our game is going to jump to be like, yeah, that is worth it. A general consumer is going to think that way, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
If GTA is the juggernaut that it is, and potentially, hopefully, continues to be, they are definitely the ones that have the power to be the first to say, as a AAA game, this is how much we're going to charge, right?
Yeah.
And then other AAA games will follow. Like, that's just
100%.
a fair speculation. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how much it is. And yeah, is that going to hurt their fan base? Like, are people going to say no just because of that price? Like, potentially. So that's a scary thing too. It's just,
yeah, it's really scary.
Can I share my thoughts here? Because as far as the $100 thing goes, the argument that I've had is when I've done my job as a game developer is it doesn't matter what you think the game is worth. It matters what players think the game is worth,
100%.
right? And
Yes.
and comparables is a huge part of pricing a game. And I don't know of any comparables of a game that is baseline $100 right now. The most expensive game I can think of was, I think, the Total Annihilation, like re-release or like rehash or faithful reimagining that came out, or it was in early access in like 2014. Somebody could tell me about this, but I remember from a while ago. They were like crazy expensive, I remember, on Steam. Please correct me or tell me if I'm wrong, but I have a vague memory of that, and I think it was even over 100. That's the only example I can think of in recent memory, and that was 12 years ago, and I'm not even sure if it's right. I guess I'm kind of in agreement with you, Jay. Like maybe players, even if that dollar per hour value is held by some players, most players are just going to see that price point and go, "Nuh-uh, I can't afford that in a fucking PlayStation." Like there's serious economic concerns that people have to deal with,
which is why I don't think they will.
Game? Especially when here's the kicker. Here's the main thing: is there's alternatives that are just going to be better and more certain, right? Go ahead, Jay. What were you going to say?
No, I'm like, because I don't want people to misconstrue what I just said as me saying I think GTA should cost $100. I think there's a way for gamers to justify it, and I think there's also ways for devs to justify it. I don't think they should, though, because of the economic state of the planet currently.
yes, that was something I think we should cover too, is like, I mean, there's no other way to say this. Like, the US fucked everyone right now.
We're at war, and
with
things
oil.
are bad,
like globally, right? Like my relatives in Australia, my in-laws, are like trying to save. Like they were told to not use gas as much as they possibly can. Like it's a volunteer thing right now to try to save gas as a country, right? Like the whole world is going to feel the effects of this. It's not like we have the disposable income we did like just a year ago to say, hey, I want to buy a game. If you're going to buy a game and GTA 6 is not the game to buy, are you going to buy, like, are indie games the ones you're going to lean on this year or the following year? Again, like, it's just like a scary thing for a AAA dev right now to just witness all of this happen.
The pricing of AAA games, I think, is, and I think you're completely right with this whole GTA needs to succeed, because if AAA games start pushing themselves into charging more and more money, and then slowly they start to realize that less and less people
There's no one there
are buying, and even to the point where the price can't outweigh the less people buying it, if that makes sense. You know, like the extra money you're making doesn't outweigh the amount.
Yes.
they could be like, oh, fuck. And then suddenly a bunch of people have lost faith in the brand, either start moving towards indie and PC gaming and stuff like that, or they just stop gaming altogether because that's all they really did was AAA big tentpole releases.
Yep.
It could severely damage the industry just by changing pricing. And like how GTA is priced when it comes out and how it does are all in very important factors for the health of the AAA industry.
Thank you, Eric. Look at that.
Eric has another helpful visual aid here. For those who are listening, you spend $100 too, it says at the top, and then there's two old women. One is giving a thumbs up. It says, watch 5 movies. The other is holding a fucking frying pan and says, buy GTA 6. I want to speak to something that you just said, Jay, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about the industry, and we're talking about it, dying or being doomed because of a GTA 6 failure. And I even saw somebody in the chat said, why does it feel like we're being guilted to buy GTA 6 right now? To be clear, I mean, this is more of like this is half a clarifying question with what Tina's, sort of proposing, but it's also this, like, I mean, I came from like indie and double A mostly, right? I've flirted with triple A. I've done a bit of that technically, but, and also actually since before then with like, other work, but basically, one of the things that we have to acknowledge is like that's not all of gaming, right? If GTA fails and let's say AAA evaporates, like if every AAA studio had to shut their doors tomorrow for some bizarre hypothetical fantasy scenario legal reason, gaming would still exist. People will be making games as long as the tools are there. So when we talk about the industry,
AAA would definitely change.
Yes, AAA would absolutely change,
and there'd be and I would say AAA probably hires the most amount of fucking people in our industry.
Yeah. And there's a lot of talent that gets there. And we can't discount the fact that those people are in positions to make beautiful games, like literally aesthetically beautiful, but also beautiful otherwise. But I think I'll say this, and this is maybe me being a little bit optimistic. If it does happen, and if Tina's dead AAA theory, we'll call it, let's coin it, the cool phrase, make it sound more academic.
Make it sound more positive,
more positive. You're talking about the fucking industry dying. Tina, not going to be able to make
Tina,
it.
Have you seen the title of this video? You proposed this.
I know.
Doom is the word.
I wanted to say, I hope not. Faith, whatever.
If it
in brackets,
happen,
hopefully not.
Indie games and others will still exist because the fortunate reality of the thing I always say when we talk about layoffs, I feel like I always say, is like there will still be those fucking auteur people, those artists who sit down with Unreal or Godot or Unity or whatever, and they just make something in their free time, and it's excellent and beautiful. And you don't need a AAA for that to happen. So there will at least be gaming. I don't think we're beyond the creation of gaming art or products.
No, I just think a lot of people would be out of work and it'd be very tough.
Oh yeah.
But
all right.
Okay. So, but just driving it back a little bit to GTA 6. Man, actually, can I read a fan funding thing?
You can read whatever the fuck you want, mate. This is your podcast.
Woman,
so someone paid money to make sandwiches of us, and I want to get to that.
Shall we? Yeah, we'll go through this. Shall we also should we just take this time? We've got more to say, but should we take this time to do some of the donations because we've got quite a few?
Let's do it.
Would you like to read them out, or would you want me to?
I'll read the first sandwich. The sandwich. Have
you seen Sandwich Eric before? Do you need clarification?
I'm not familiar with what's going on, Jay.
This is the Sandwich Eric. Eric comes in, and they are a chef, and they have been creating sandwiches based on our personalities. They have done a lot of us, and they have come to drop some for you guys. So Tina, go.
When you say us, you mean Second Wind?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Chef Eric's SWG sandwich combo number 15. The Tina, aka the producer. Herb roasted chicken breast. Okay, support that. Mashed avocado. Love that. Thick cut tomato, red onion, romaine lettuce, roasted garlic aioli on toasted sourdough. I would fucking eat that.
Of course, there's some fucking avocado on it. You LA urbanite. You SoCal girl.
What does the boomers say about us eating avocado?
I don't know.
A lot of shit. They like talking shit about Californians.
It's like you can't get a house because you eat avocado on your toast.
You can't get a house because you eat them. Those boomers always.
Well, there is a sandwich for you from Sandwich Eric. So if you're able to look, Mikey, you can read yours.
Hold on. Where is
see
it?
There's some avocado on it.
I'm a little behind.
Can Mikey get a house?
I can
Tune
read it if
in
you
next
want.
time.
Mikey,
Yeah.
get a house. Eric, can you please link it? My
Here,
browser
I'll
is
read
fucking
it.
up right now. Okay.
The
Sure,
Mikey,
thank you.
aka the voice.
Ooh.
Nobody's called me the voice in a very long time.
Sliced roast beef melt with Vermont white cheddar, tomatoes, crispy onion, and shallots, lettuce, herb mayo on a hoagie roll. God damn.
Wow. I
We
just
need to eat
recently
these.
got back into roast beef a few months ago. I'd like to ask the chef
What the
why
fuck does
roast
that
beef
mean?
specifically.
You were taking a break? What does that mean?
What do
You
you mean,
recently
what does
got
that
into
mean?
roast beef.
Hold on, Jay. Don't shame me for what I just said. People eat foods and then they like begin eating other foods.
I
And
have
you
a
know what happens
break.
sometimes, Jay? They stop. They stop eating a food and they eat something else because they were interested in something else because taste changes. And then sometimes they develop as people and they go back and they go and they eat
So you're
something
saying
else.
that to stop eating
What's
roast
weird
beef, you had
about
to develop as a
not
person?
eating roast beef and then
We
deciding
got
to eat roast
from
beef
Mikey. Mikey is saying you have to be less of a person to eat roast beef.
Listen, what are you talking about? That's insane. Any human being can eat something and then stop habitually and then go back to eating it. And that's what I did. I didn't have roast beef for a while. Jay, I've been through a lot this month. Let me have this.
Oh, you can have it, dude. Eat your roast
Let me
beef.
have
It's
my
been a
roast
tough
beef.
month, bro.
And I need the chef to tell me why roast beef for me. I need to know the details.
Okay.
And I need to go AFK. I'm very hungry.
And to circle it back to GTA 6, we are here to speculate that there will be roast beef in Grand Theft Auto.
And Mikey's gonna get accosted for being like, "Oh man, roast beef! I like roast beef," and I'm like, "You fucking degenerate!" oh. Oh my god, the drama.
Let's read another one. This is good.
B Smash, $10. Thank you. It says, I'm certain that GTA 6 will be a huge success and I'm buying a PS5 so I can play it.
See?
Just as
Right
I
there.
did, getting a PS1 for FF7. Okay, it was sorry, by the way. Okay, play. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, do I have to buy a PlayStation 5 to be able to play GTA? I'm hoping the answer is no. But because I had one in England and I sold it.
Wait, you didn't
so I'm
finish
hoping
the
I
rest
don't
of
have-
his comment.
Oh, what?
See, he got a PS1 for Final Fantasy VII, a PS2 for GTA 3, a PS3 for GTA 5. ET was for Atari, by the way. I played it.
You got... Did you get an
See,
Atari
look,
2600 to play
Be
ET?
smart, single-handedly trying to keep this industry afloat.
The industry
on his
alive.
shoulders. Yes.
Well, it didn't work for the Atari. That was when the first crash happened, so...
But
Go
they
on, step it
tried.
up, Be
So
Smash.
Be
Yeah,
Smart is
if we-
the
yeah.
Loki of the game industry trying to hold everything together in the back.
Right, okay. So the next one is Mikee Hudson, back again with 10 Canadian dollars, and says GTA is a franchise that marks points of medium evolution. In a turbulent era with this is the measuring stick of the old guard. It brings fear because of uncertainty after its results. We shall see. Yeah, I think this is a great thing in general. I mean, I was going to say it earlier. Hey, maybe if this does damage to the AAA industry, good. Maybe they'll learn some fucking lessons.
Girl.
Sorry, Tina, but there are some lessons that need to be learned that a lot of the executives aren't learning. So, but in reality, I say that the lessons won't be learned, and the only people that will be hurt are the developers. So, no, I don't want this to happen. I want it to do well. I want everyone to keep their jobs, and I want all games to be good. But we're just speculating, you know. Speaking of speculating, welcome back, Mikey.
We got another one.
I feel better.
6.
Did you let out some of that rage I induced in you with the roast beef?
Oh, the sandwich
That
Eric
wasn't
did
rage.
respond.
That was just play.
You've never
responded.
experienced rage, Jay.
No, I'm not doing that thing that toxic men do where they're like, oh, you've never seen me when I'm angry. I'm saying that was play. That was silliness.
Okay.
I got my food. I got my drink. We're good. Go ahead, Tina.
Happy days. Yeah, sorry. Tina.
He said, call it chef intuition for the roast beef call. And that's all he said.
Yeah.
Thank you for donating
That's
$2 to say that.
bullshit. I want to know why you thought it was roast beef. You don't have to make a donation. I want to hear an explanation.
Okay.
Chef Eric looks down a dark alley and goes, "We shouldn't go down there. Let's go somewhere else." And they go, "How do you know?"
A chef doesn't construct a sandwich thoughtlessly. What's going on? I'm in Subway now.
Oh my god! Do they do roast beef
For
at
those who
Subway?
are
That wouldn't
listening.
be a thing in England.
Would you
Those
buy
who are
GTA 6 if it came with, if there was a combo with the Subway sandwich?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd buy any game if it
You
came with
would?
like, if I could go to Steam and order an indie game and at the same time it ordered like a sandwich to my house, I'd be buying indie games every day. You
Like
would too.
a Chipotle bowl, and then you get a surprise indie game.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
let's
but
talk
if I
about
knew
the
that a
costs
portion of that
here.
sandwich was supporting indies.
Jay, you can't. Okay, that's pretty compelling. But you can't say that without knowing the costs. Like we have to determine.
Yeah,
the
so you're gonna
costs
buy
here.
a $60 sandwich every day.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
No, Tina, you've got AAA blindness. No indie games costing $60. We're
No,
like,
you're buying the
that's not
sandwich
true.
and you're spending money towards, whatever surprise game.
what we do. What we do is we get an indie game. You do the combo. You're partnering with Buffalo Wild Wings. You're gonna get a beer cheese roll and an indie game, and it comes with like the game's logo like hot press stamped into the sandwich. Disgusting. Me and Yahtzee did a Yahtzee tries for April Fools where we were eating American food and we tried Lunchables and it had Donkey Kong Bonanza like branding on it. It was all very disconcerting.
Oh, Eric, take me away from Buffalo. I had a very bad experience at a Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't even want to.
Pray tell.
No,
Pray tell.
please.
Pray tell.
I had the worst sandwich of my life. I
Why would you
sat
buy
in
a
there-
sandwich at Buffalo Wild
Sorry,
Wings?
burger,
Oh my!
burger. Like I had. Okay, it's all encompassing. It was sandwich or burger. It was the worst one of my life.
Why
Easy.
would you get a burger at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Because I didn't want to eat shit. I didn't want to put shit into my mouth, Tina. Now
You
it's
didn't
not
want
that
to
I
eat
think
wings at a wing
It's not- hold on.
restaurant.
It's-
So you got the
hold on, hold on.
burger.
it's not that I think like all Buffalo Wild Wings. Wendy's is fine. Let me finish what I'm
Ugh.
saying, Eric. It's not that I think that all Buffalo Wild wings are shit, but like it's just not great quality, and like I don't really like those kinds of wings that much. So I just wanted like a burger or something. And the thing they gave me was a fucking sin, dude. It fucking sat on the plate. It was like off to the side, and there was this like
Yeah, because it's a burger.
sloppy
like, fuck
sauce.
the
It
burger.
was white. It looked like New England clam chowder, the white kind, on my burger, and it was just slopped off. Like somebody shot it in the gut and it slumped over and died on my plate.
Okay,
It was
now
awful.
now
I didn't know what it was.
circle your statement to GTA 6 somehow for the podcast.
We've got a bunch of donations.
Consumer expectations are important. When I made that
Hey.
decision to buy that burger, Tina, like that one.
He's a
When
professional.
I made that decision to buy that burger, I had a certain expectation based on other burgers. So when I buy GTA 6, I'm going to have certain expectations.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
problem is nobody knows what to expect from GTA 6 because we haven't really seen it yet. So this is
Barely
really a
anything.
dangerous position that I think they're in, honestly.
Oh no, I'm excited. They showed like Florida. They showed like some swamp life.
It's all-
I'm gonna
it's all-
fight a gator.
We didn't see any gameplay yet.
I
man.
got my
and
accent
gameplay
ready.
What, you
to
got your
just
accent ready.
go
You got your hat. You
Blah
got your long
blah
gun.
against some gators.
Your boots. Your short shorts. Your
I'm gonna Google Florida man and a date, and I'm gonna try to do that shit in every match I join in GTA.
Here's a quote directly from Mikey that we wrote down in our notes, which just says, "Can you really faithfully depict the true outrageousness of the state of Florida?" That is a
It's
realistic expectation.
I spent some time in Florida. This was like Jay and Tina and Eric know, but I was
Yeah.
in Florida, related to the other death that I alluded to, aside from Jeremy. Long month, and I got to spend. I mean, shit just kept happening, and I got to spend some time in a Florida emergency room, and the clientele was not lost on me. It felt distinctly Floridian, and thinking about that place. Like it's a perfect place for a GTA game. So half jokingly, yeah, I made that comment. about like, are they really going to be able to depict Florida in a convincing way?
I
Right?
hope
Because you can
so.
easily, but here's the half that's serious. You can easily overdo it, and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's like Saints Row silly. That's out there. Or you can underdo it. It's like a very specific kind of thing in the Floridian culture, man.
We can only really go off what Rockstar's last product was, right? Which is the big box. We're talking Red Dead 2. And that was still a long time ago, but that game felt jam-packed with stuff. Like, you could be walking down the street and encounter, like, I don't want to even say side quests that pop up in your GUI. I'm like, just stuff happening, like chaos and little like bits of story that are happening that you can get involved in that might lead to side quests or just a little fun situation. I could really see a Florida map being jam-packed with fun little things that are just everywhere. I just really hope they don't come out and say, oh, we've actually mapped out all of Florida and you can drive across all of Florida. I will just cry. It's like,
No,
it's
they
like
won't
when I
do
saw the
that.
announcement
They
of
scale
Starfield,
it.
I was just like, this is going to suck.
No, they'll scale it like as they've done before, right?
Yeah, and I hope so. And then I do believe that we were talking about it when we were coming up with this episode, is like, name a GTA game that sucked. Or like, name a Rockstar game that sucked.
You know what? I've never finished one.
Yeah, like, have you finished the campaign in any of them? It's a
No.
sandbox, right?
Yeah, I just fuck around. That's like fuck around and find out is like the name of the game.
Yeah.
I heard the table tennis game was surprisingly good, but but if you don't like table tennis, I can't imagine you like that game very much. That game must have sucked for some people.
What?
Why are you looking at
Did
me
they
weird?
make a table
Rockstar
tennis
made a
game?
table tennis game. I'm not fucking with you.
Eric,
Hold on.
bring this up.
Oh, he's not saying GTA made a table tennis game. You're saying there is a table tennis.
There is a
game.
Rockstar made
a table tennis game. Yeah, and because Jay asked like, "Oh, name a Rockstar game that sucked," and I'm saying maybe people who didn't like table tennis thought that game sucked.
I mean, that doesn't mean it
There
sucks.
is.
That just means you don't like table tennis.
Rockstar Games presents Table Tennis is a 2006 table tennis simulation video game by Rockstar San Diego.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey.
You guys, did everybody know that?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sandboxes, there aren't a lot of sandbox style games out nowadays, and the ones that have kind of flopped with like Mind's Eye and stuff like that from previous GTA developers. I think this was a thought you had, Tina, of thinking maybe GTA and Rockstar have set the bar too high for that genre, so people aren't really attempting it.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I think it's as crazy as chasing GTA is like chasing that shooter dream that people are, I think, now going to give up on. Just competing. But it's an interesting way of playing because every time you jump on, you can just do whatever you want, and the game's just there to accommodate, right? And playing with friends and doing that is really fun in a real environment. There was one other game that I brought up when we were having this conversation before this podcast, which was Toy Story 3 had a really great toy box. They called it Toy Box, sandbox style game. And I played the fuck out of that. I gave that an
you
A,
mentioned that.
reviewed it. Yeah. And what's crazy is like, so you were just playing as Jesse. You're running around this like Western town. You could customize the buildings, the colors, the paints, or whatever the fucks. And I didn't really like that part because it was kind of like Sims in that way. And I was like, nah, I'm not interested in that. And then I found like in the desert, there was a race course. I'm like, holy shit. And then I was just racing my RC car. I was playing that for a little while. And so it just let you do a bunch of random shit that you
Lots
could
of different things, yeah.
And I think that's great. And I think Toy Story 3 actually led to Disney Infinity becoming a thing because they just made that like a whole game.
Oh, okay.
Rest in peace, that game. I don't know what the fuck happened to that, but yeah, like
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get excited because GTA, you just jump on with friends, do a bunch of random dumb stuff, and you make your own experience. And I think that's what's cool about it. There's no linear path.
That's what the general. Well, yeah, it's a lot of form of ludic play. It's the fun created by the players. They're giving tools for the players themselves to create that ludo narrative through the story that they're creating through their play. I think that's also what the general audience like about GTA. I think, my mate Steve, who's like super into sports and likes chugging beers and shit, he likes GTA and he likes it because he can drive the car fast and he can make it flip and sometimes he can run over the elderly. That's his jam, But there might be someone who's like super into the mini games or the flying or like the narrative or the online, right? There's something for everyone, which is another reason why I think there's never been a game franchise that has really sold as well as GTA 5 did, and then following up with Rockstar have proven that even with their weird cowboy game, they can sell like just as many, well, not the same as GTA 5, but huge amounts of numbers. There's an audience there, and I think because it's been anticipated for such a long time, people are really going to jump on this. I think it's, even if they priced it at $150, I still think a large amount of people would still go for it, and they would make a lot of money.
But that's what our expectation is. But as we have seen this year, expectations have not landed in the gaming industry. So that's why I'm scared, and I wanted to bring this up. But also, there's another thing about GTA that Mikee, you brought up as a concern that may hurt it, is you were skeptical about gameplay innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could talk to that or speak to that a little. I mean, and this is something that's like an open conversation. By the way, like I'm not like I don't want GTA to fail. I'm just pretty skeptical for a lot of the reasons we're talking about and other reasons that we've yet to explain. But here's like the first place I want to start. How many people like Jay, Tina, Eric, everybody listening, can you guys name a modern, like, with guns, modern shooting third-person action game that had great combat? So I could think of like Max Payne. That's a good. Jay's smiling. What's the smile for?
I'm trying to think, and I immediately my brain went because
right.
Couldn't come up with an immediate answer.
Because third-person shooting is hard to get right. We had an entire generation of branded third-person shooter games in like 7th gen consoles, like PS2. I forget if that's 7th gen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that whole generation they weren't very good. Like a lot of third-person shooting is hard. Vanquish, says Eric. Okay. Resident Evil 4, excuse me, is a good one. Okay, I'm seeing some, Fury. What's Fury? I don't know, Fury. Helldivers 2. Okay. So these do exist. But I feel like they're
not impossible, but it's harder.
They're few and far between. And I personally have never really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto shooting. It's always felt very, very serviceable. And when it comes to making third-person shooting feel good, it's really the stuff around it that makes it feel good. And the shooting is just kind of like, okay, for the kind of game that GTA is and the expectation of that and the core loop of like what you're going to do in it, which is like fighting and killing people, and the way that expectations have changed for gunplay, third person, first person, or otherwise over the past decade plus 13 years, 12 years since the last GTA.
A lot's changed.
I don't know, man. I have a lot of skepticism about that. I'm sure the driving will be excellent, right? I'm sure there'll be plenty of fun mini game side activities, but
like what much about the game yet, which is
no, they haven't shown much uncut gameplay at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, and I think that's saying something, man.
Yeah, or is it just that they're so big, right, that they're like, we don't need to.
Well, that's the thing.
They could not release any marketing and just say it's easily out, and it would sell gangbusters. Right?
So when E3 and all that stuff was a thing, like they were never there because they didn't have to be.
They're too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember lead up trailers and stuff for GTA 5 though, right? Probably like inside of 6 months out from release.
Which
so like maybe we're about to get them, and maybe I'm wrong to speculate. It could be it's not ready to share. But it would have to happen pretty soon.
Which is the one that had the Lindsay Lohan lookalike poster? Was that
5?
4 or 5? 5, yeah.
5. Yeah, a little bit of controversy with that.
Look, here's my hope.
All right.
I want to be Joe Exotic. I want to run down like
Arms out, Tina.
people with my tiger by my side in my truck and my gator in the back, and me and my animals fuck shit up. I want to run into a gas station.
Got my truck.
If I can't drink massive amounts of alcohol and get in a car with my animals and drive down the freeway, what game is it? What's the point of this game?
I guarantee that'll be a thing. Like in a lot of cases, if I saw this kind of delay, I would always be thinking, okay, what they're doing is they're trying to chase the kind of peak of the console they're trying to release on, and then a new one is released, and they haven't even like they're nowhere near getting the game out. So they're like, well, we need to now start developing for that next console, and then that just keeps happening, right? They're like cycling through them. I would always say that with any other company, but with Rockstar, I believe they're still doing that tech development, but they have the people to be able to do that correctly. They're probably just jam packing this thing with stuff. And that's what I hope for. I hope this isn't just like they're bleeding their developers dry, trying to, chase the pinnacle of graphic fidelity. I hope they're just trying to put it so like more things for ludic play, more stuff so you can have fun. Let's develop putting the gator inside the truck so Tina can have her dream, right? Rather than, we want to make sure that this guy's nipples
is to
look
mow
better.
down zombies, and you're like, wait, that's not zombies. That's a guy on bath salts.
That's not zombie. Tina, your idea of this game is very specific. I hope it lives up to these expectations.
Someone in the chat said that I just want Redneck Rampage, and I think they're right.
Yeah,
Did you guys
have.
play Redneck Rampage?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Redneck Rampage is like you guys know the build engine? Duke Nukem?
Yeah.
I think it was the build engine. It wasn't. I don't think it was the Doom engine. Basically like a boomer shooter from the 90s, like the source material of today's boomer shooters, like Blood or Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
And that was it. You were rednecks. You fucking, you run around doing redneck shit.
I'm surprised Eric hasn't pulled this up. I'm actually gobsmacked.
It was a comedic game. I think there was like a bird caller that you could, maybe it was in a review that I read.
Someone said, "Them's bath salts." in the chat. Sorry.
What they say?
Them's bath salts.
I don't like that joke. That joke feels.
I know it's bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, Tina knows all of this is bad. She just wants to be bad in the game. That's like the dream. She wants to commit crimes.
Dumb stuff.
It is funny that Tina's
pick up
ambition,
all my homies in a chopper in GTA 5 and then immediately crash it into the ocean. Don't you want to do that?
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm with you on that. Can we talk a little bit about there's Redneck Rampage. Thank you,
Okay.
Eric. Apparently it wasn't a very good game. Here's the thing that I'm concerned about. I think now's a good time to talk about it because Tina just mentioned being with your friends and playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like GTA Online has a lot of issues, man. A lot of UI issues, a lot of monetization issues, a lot of experience issues, content issues. Even I just really hope they learned from those experiences, but I'm not sure they did because the players that do play GTA Online lap that shit up. And you know why they do? Or know why I feel that way is because look how long they've been able to go for the past decade plus off of GTA Online money. But if any of us were to jump into GTA Online right now, and I promise you, I've done this with so many different friends over the past, I don't know, even just 5 years, but even beyond that. And like, hey, buy GTA and come play with me. And it is a fucking kick in the ass to try to get it to work and play smoothly. It's always some kind of problem. So they just have a bunch of fucking whales with their mouths open and they're just shoveling whatever it is that they have into their mouths. And I think that creates the wrong expectations. I could see this new GTA Online 2 or whatever for GTA 6 coming out and players go, what? This isn't it. Where'd you get the feedback that this was the right thing to do? Because they lean too heavily on their own precedent they set in GTA Online, which was dictated by whales.
I have a lot of thoughts on the online. I've actually played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of GTA Online in lots of different capacities, in the racing, the heists, the little mini games, the just playing casually. I think one of the big issues is that the game, they kept trying to up themselves on the stuff that they were including, which the main problem was, I can't remember the names of the vehicles, but there was a flying car that could shoot rockets.
Oh yeah.
There was a flying
Oh, yeah.
bike that could shoot
was
rockets. And they
game-breaking.
kind of became, it breaks the flow of the game, and it also gives griefers, so people who are trying to ruin other people's gaming experience, a very easy way to avoid the counters to that, which is the cops and the 5-star rating. It gives them an easy way to circumvent that and continue griefing. So I anticipate that if they add this, it's going to be a little bit more grounded. I think they did learn a lot of lessons, but they just didn't want to, from GTA Online, from 5, but they didn't want to roll back and completely change things, right?
And I'm sorry, I'm actually forgetting an important element here that I should say, and you're kind of reminding me. There's also the 5M role play, and it's huge success. And I think they're fighting with Rockstar. That must be a component here too, is GTA RP. It's success with content creators and on Twitch and shit. Yeah. That must be getting integrated in here. But that has to be combined with the people who are, as I keep referring to, the whales of GTA Online. So there's a lot of different people they have to appeal to here.
Yeah.
The content creators, the RPers, the people who like the normal GTA Online content, people who do the heists and shit. No Pixel, yeah, someone says. Yeah. So, this is an aside, I guess, ultimately, but it's another piece of that equation where, like, the feedback that they're getting, keep in mind, whatever happens, whatever they make, it has to be appealing enough to make back, what is it, Tina? $30 billion?
Like $3 billion.
$3 billion, excuse me.
Is the
$3 billion.
suspected
projected
amount.
number.
Yeah.
Projected, sure. So that's a lot of balls in the air. That's all.
While Tina pulls that up, I think we should tackle some of these remaining donations, because we have quite a few, and I want to make sure all of you wonderful peeps who have donated your money get your message in. I think, let me just check I'm in the right place. Mikhail Hudson. Oh no, I've already read yours. You're not getting it twice. Sovereign. €50. Thank you so much, Sovereign. It says, join late, so I'm only just hearing Mikee's talk about Jeremy. Just want to thank you for sharing. I know well how difficult these situations are, but I believe it is important to talk about and shine a light on them. Very sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. And thank you for listening, and thank you, everybody. If you go listen to that, if you don't know what we're talking about at the beginning, I shared a personal thing.
Hells yeah. Japio. I think that's pronounced right. Nice hedgehog picture. $5 and says, I worry some folks assume it will be great. GTA 4 was mixed reception, sold well though. Cyberpunk was an easy win according to CD Projekt Red fans. No guarantees. Yeah, but CD Projekt Red rushed what they had out of the gate. Rockstar have kind of infinite resources and 13 years to be developing this thing and doing R&D. I don't think it's going to be great. I kind of agree with what Mikee said in previous streams on podcasts that we've done, which is, I think this is going to be GTA 5 but better, more, but it will look better and it will run smoother and it will play a little bit smoother. And at the end of the day, that's what you can expect, really, right? Is it's going to be the game again. I don't think there's going to be any huge innovations. I don't think there's going to be anything groundbreaking. I think it's just going to be a really well put together GTA game. But player expectations can go in different directions, right? Do you want that game to change your life or just be a good game, right?
Hey, some people want it to come out, and a lot of people are going to speak ill of it. They're going to say, even if it's just kind of, I guess the word would be kind of mid, like you're saying, or just a solid game, people are going to need to, because it's so big, they're going to need to have negative content created about it. Because rage bait content does really well. So even if it were just a solid game, people would still have issues. Even if it were a fantastic game, like Red Dead 2 was, people thought it was fantastic. There's still going to be a lot of people that need to create negative content out of it. Okay, let's continue with the donations.
We'll continue with the donations while Tina, you go do the thing you need to do.
I can't because my kids are gonna go nuts and won't let me back in.
Oh no, okay, let's slam. Okay, Susiguru 2K, €5 says, how big can a game become before its size itself becomes a turnoff for potential buyers? As in, the game will take too long to finish. I mean, Crimson Desert was that for me. I was like mildly interested in it, and then somebody went, wow, the devs have come out and said that the game is 3 times as big as like X game, like The Witcher 3 or whatever. And I went, okay, I am no longer interested in playing this game.
Too big.
Like, it's too big, not just from it's the same thing that happened with Starfield. Because I understand development processes, I understand that they will not be able to fill all of this space with meaningful shit. It will just be a lot of empty space, and they'll give you stuff to traverse it, be that cars or being able to fly and stuff like that. And I'm not saying Crimson Desert doesn't have meaningful content. I'm saying there's just going to be large stretches of space that don't have that, right? And that's what kind of put me off for that. You know, size is important as much as certain men will tell you it's not. It is. Sinister Hedgehog.
I'm trying not to say anything.
Yeah. Sinister Hedgehog gives $2 and says, I remember Sony depending on The Last of Us 2 when E3 was over. Yeah, do you
Like
really think this is going to sell consoles?
GTA? Yeah. Well, I mean,
historically it has, but now,
Yeah.
like we said earlier, it has a lot going against it. The price of the old consoles went up.
Yeah.
So if you didn't buy initially, why would you want to spend more for the older thing? Right? That's the problem a lot of us are facing for the first time.
Yeah. Unless you think this game's going to be like God's gift or something. Vivinimus gives $5 and says, a bit off topic, how dare you? But we never do that. How do y'all think the motion control era of 2 generations ago was a stumbling block on the road to proper VR games, or just premature?
Man.
I worked in VR, and I wasn't like, long time developer. I guess it would have been 2 years from 2021 to 2023. And, but like for what it's worth, in my experience, we never really referenced motion controls on the Wii. Like they weren't like a design reference point, as you often have design reference points or side-ins or whatever we called them. So I don't feel like it was that influential, because in like an ergonomic sense, the controls are similar, but not really. Tina.
You're fucking with me.
That's Tina's P countdown.
What are you fucking with you? I'm answering the question. They gave us their money.
They donated money. We got to answer the questions. All right, wait.
With you? This is
we got like 3 more. We got 3 more. You're wasting time.
Okay, go.
Yeah, wait. We got 4 more. I don't know what you're fucking talking about, mate.
Dang it.
Can't count. P too big. All right. So also to answer that question, gimmicks sell things, and
their money, Tina.
Yeah, gimmick sell things. I think that's a good way to push the industry forward, but sometimes it can be too much for people. All right, we already read Sandwich Eric call it intuition for roast beef. Deebs, we love Deebs in this house, says solidarity with Mikey on changing foods. Yeah, I was just taking the piss. You eat whatever the fuck you want. We got Mikhail Hudson back with $2 and says, please, for the love of fucking God, Florida Man questline. That's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be like, I'm sure it'll be like,
right?
Do you know in San Andreas and GTA 5 with the Sasquatch, you would sometimes stumble upon the Sasquatch and it'd be like this mythical thing you could stumble upon? There's going to be Florida Man that you will like spot him and he'll be doing some crazy thing. That'll be great. That's what I want. Next, I see that Mikey is restraining himself. He's not commenting because he doesn't want to go off on a diatribe while
I care about Tina. She's made it very clear that she needs my support now, so continue.
Mikhail Hudson again, $2 and says, wait, I haven't seen stupid drinking since Fable. Hey, Fable, another game famous for putting weird shit in it. What is this? Is this Wave Racer? Eric, are you just doing this to distract us? Or is this Fable 3?
It's for the
different
pee
game.
that I have to pee.
Oh my
Eric,
god.
are you showing a water-based game to fuck with
Yes.
Tina, whose
Yes,
bladder
he
is
is.
pulsating and about to explode?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You fucking jerk.
All right. Well, guess what? Unless anyone else donates, we have one left.
Yes.
Says the sandwich Eric gives $5 and says I'll donate just to be clear. Fight me, Mikey. I've listened to you. I've heard you, and I looked you in your eyes and said this guy loves cheesy beef.
Wait. Okay. Tina, you're gonna have to hold. I'm sorry. I'm too curious. Why would I fight you?
Oh, this is so worth it. Go on.
There's no transgression that's been committed. You made a delicious sandwich for
Oh
me.
my
I
God.
want to eat it. And I got playfully mad at Jay for making fun of me for like eating roast beef, then not, and then going back to it. Why would I fight you? You were intuitive, like you have intuition. The only thing I was fighting you on was like I called BS that you said, "Oh, I just knew from looking at you." Like, no, come on, you're a chef. Like you had a thought about it. You thought like, I think this is why this guy
Damn
would
it.
like that. Maybe you said
Okay.
it before. Oh, Tina.
I'm hodoring.
I'm
my bladder.
hodoring
I'm
my
done.
bladder. Fuck another donation.
Fine, I'm done. Fine, I'm done. I'm sorry.
I
I'd
got
love to dig
another
into this.
donation.
Chef, come back later. We'll talk more about it.
I said I would go when we're out of donations.
Multi Gurnver gives 20 Norwegian krona and says, I'll be happy if they keep. Oh, another one. If they keep Vassetti estate in it. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be lots of references. Tina, I'm sorry. Waiting for
This
Viva
one's for you,
Pinata
Tina.
2. Gives 100 R's and says, Tina, what were your favorite snacks while you were working Call of Duty and Apex?
Oh, I used to eat spicy Cheetos and a sparkling water. But then I started using chopsticks to eat spicy Cheetos while at Respawn just so I
Smart.
wouldn't
Fancy.
fuck with like everything. But yeah,
Absolutely.
It was not great.
Fancy.
I made a loading screen hint in Insurgency Sandstorm about that. That said,
Oh,
use
really?
chopsticks to eat your snacks so your fingers don't get dirty. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart.
It was a real gag.
And what was the thing you drank?
Sparkling water.
Sparkling
oh my god.
water.
You know,
Can you
I
describe that?
brought I brought sparkling water to this and
Take a
I
sip.
drank more than half. God damn it.
Tina, you don't have to.
I was waiting a second. I
At
think
some
we're done with
point, it
donations.
doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, like you push the point of no return
return.
with P. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Why can't
All right, well-
Tina pee and then we come back and we finish?
Because I may
this?
not be able to come back.
Oh, right, because
Yeah,
your
'cause the
kid. I'm
kiddies.
sorry, I remember.
Because of the
Yeah,
kiddies.
yeah.
All right, wait for we've been 200 asses.
There's
Says
been
Tina,
another.
what's your
Keep
favorite
donating
bathroom
as we
at
launch our-
Infinity Ward Studios?
What? Really?
Oh, Morty gives 20 Norwegian krona and says, "Water you got?
This
What are
is-
you
this
gotten
is
yourself into,
cruel.
Tina?"
We can't do this. No.
Okay.
No, this is
I'm
good.
gonna
Okay.
try and wrap
My
this
fa-
up.
my
I'm
favorite
wrapping it up
bathroom
before more come in.
Was on floor
Wait, no, let her
6,
answer, Jay.
on the 6th floor at Infinity Ward, because there's 2 floors. We're on 5 and 6. On the 6th floor, there was a whole, there was like 8 stalls for women, and there wasn't many of us, so we each had our own stall.
Amazing.
I think at one
Nice.
point I put my face on mine. So yeah, I had my own bathroom, and that's probably not the case anymore because there's more women now.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Good
Thank
for
you.
women.
gonna
but
wrap it
bad
up.
for small groups of women who want their own bathroom.
Everyone who's been listening,
Sacrifice
and
had to be
watching
made,
live,
Tina.
No, wait. So our consensus is what? That you think it will do well, GTA 6?
I think it's going to do well, but
Okay.
whether it will have the quality and whether it will meet people's expectations remains to be seen. But I think it will do well regardless, and it will make its money back just because
And
of how.
if
big
it doesn't
is.
work out, I'm going to become an AI slot polisher.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things Tina wanted to dig into, but now we can't. So she's just going to drop that and
Well, hold
then
on.
walk off.
Hold on. Let me give my thoughts on
Okay.
how if GTA fails, will the games industry be doomed? Now, I've been thinking a lot about this as we've been talking. Oh, that's weird. My earbud just has a low battery. Can you
You're
guys
such
hear
a
me?
dickhead.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can
Hello?
hear you.
Hold on, guys.
I'm gonna Florida man all over your base in GTA 6 if there are bases. I don't even know.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
burn
I'm
down
done.
your
I'm done my
swamp.
troll. I'm done
gonna
my
burn
troll.
down your
I
swamp.
said what
Wait,
I
do you
said about
actually have
GTA
thoughts
6.
though? Do you actually have
Okay,
thoughts?
sorry. I'll be serious. I'll be serious. I'm sorry for fucking with you, Tina. I don't know. My speculation makes me leery for all the reasons that we talked about. I'm not sure, but I think it'll at least be decent.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
That was pretty good. That was
No,
pretty succinct. Don't-
Eric, look at Eric's thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Tina, we want to hear your final thoughts, and then I'm going to let you wrap it up in the style you want to.
Okay. So I don't know if you can pre-order the game. You probably can't. But yes, if you don't like GTA, I really need to understand what you do like, and I don't want to be an out of touch game developer that's just making shit for people that don't like to play games anymore. I don't know. I'm just saying it's almost like my as a AAA dev, our like well-being is tied to GTA 6 doing well. That's all I'll say. So I hope it does well. Oh my god, you son
We'll
of a
see.
bitch.
We'll cover it properly when it comes out. But okay, Eric, we can hear you. By the way, we can hear your cackling.
That was great.
So
Go on, Tina.
thank you so much for listening, everyone. Really hope you enjoyed this episode of Dev Heads. A thing to plug before we go is that I have been doing my first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. Been doing it over on my Twitch channel. I'm going to be going live in an hour. So if you guys want to join, you can go to the link I've just posted, which is twitch.tv/designdelve, and I will see you in an hour for more FF7. I'm going to release Tina from the P prison.
He's gonna release something.
My
else.
gut
thank
is
you
too big for the table.
The way you're leaning backward, Tina, you look like you're. Oh, is it really that bad?
Yes, I gotta go. You know how you unbutton one button on your pants?
Yeah.
Oh, she really needs to go. Okay, guys,
Okay.
thank you so much for
Okay.
watching. We're going to bounce. We'll see you in the next episode, and I'll see you for FF7 in an
Thank
hour.
you,
See you
everybody.
later, guys.
Bye.